we are headed into the losers bracket final over here. So we are looking at Infernal Shrines, our first map between Washed Up and Laubers Fanclub. Bit of a highlight match between the two teams. Bit of a grudge match here. But yeah, another best of 3 series, and the winner of this obviously advances to the grand final to face off against Feel the Heat, whereas the loser has to say bye-bye and is out of the tournament.
Washed Up remove the Zarya to start off with, and Laubers Fanclub taking out the Yorel. So we're starting off with some pretty standard bans. Again, Zarya wasn't too standard until we've reached this final 3, final 4. That's when she's jumped up quite a bit in priority. Yorel, though, pretty universal across the ban phase here, as ETC is also going to get removed.
Yeah, Laubers hero gets banned out here. And I really want... and the ban against Medivh. It's not only Ultralisk can play Medivh, Hazu has a pretty decent one as well. And they are well aware of it, so he gets banned out. But that allows Nick, of course, to lock in that Cassia first pick again. But what I wanted to say, I really think with the performance that we've seen from Washed Up today against Last Dance, both teams, Laubers Fanclub and potentially, depending on the result here, Feel the Heat, have to step it up a little bit because Washed Up looked very, very clean. Even in the game that they lost against Last Dance, I think both of the teams showed some pretty incredible coordination. And there were a few holes in the defense in particular for the fan club here. So if they make mistakes like this against Washed Up, I think those are going to be exploited very, very heavily. So I really want to see them just step it up a little bit in the way that they are controlling their team play, because they will need to do that if they want to face off against Feel the Heat in the grand final again and take their revenge.
And I like this. Decade Kane makes his way in for the first time in quite a while. And the reasoning for this is while we've been seeing Malfurion jump up in priority here, Ana wouldn't be as good for the Cassia Nano Boost. They would be relying on something else if they would have picked that up at this stage. Whereas the Malfurion, he is solid. He does offer that Nature's Cure, but he doesn't offer a fantastic disengage from this Reiko composition. Decade offers that. He offers sustain, he allows Washed Up if they want to be flexible and pick Sergeant Hammer, and he offers that stay a while and listen to keep them safe, as well as great siege for the objective.
Yeah, now with the bans coming in, Junkrat actually gets banned out, so the outside poke is eliminated for the time being on one of the heroes. That's another hero that Hazu in particular excels at. What do they ban? They're getting rid of Zul, the rotations between lanes. I mean, it's one of the teams that has shown Zul a few times just in previous series, to name one best of 3 where they utilized him. So you don't want to go up against that wave clear, and he obviously adds a lot on the shrine as well. But that brings us into the double pick for Laubers Fanclub, and they still need an offliner for Blaze. Could be for Blade, could be Blaze again. And I'm just being I'm all over the place. It's not Feel the Heat. We're getting still Leo. So the Janitor's in, and we get Gul'dan, which has been a little bit more of a rare pick these days in Infernal Shrines after he for a long time was just like one of the standard picks for them.
Khaldor's excited for the finals. He wants to feel the heat back. As we do, like you say, the unusual pick of Gul'dan coming in here, which leans us towards a non-Bloodlust composition, although we have seen Li Ming's in Bloodlust compositions. It really depends on what that last pick is. We're going to see Kerrigan. Nick's going to get back on his Kerrigan here, and Blaze Johanna. This combo has worked so well throughout this tournament, and it comes in one more time. Their front line is beefy. It gives someone who can relieve Johanna of Leoric tanking duty. It's a solid pickup, a safe draft, and a very crowd control heavy one from Washed Up.
Yeah, and it's going to be really tricky to get to that Cassia, and there's so much done for them, so much CC. Have fun breaking through that. They pick Sylvanas, they have some snowball potential, but this is an incredibly solid draft for Washed Up, so not an easy one for Laubers Fanclub to break through. Infernal Shrines game number 1 is going to kick us off into the lower bracket final here, ladies and gentlemen, the best of 3 series. And let's find out which team takes the lead here in this best of 3 in their attempt to reach the grand final. Right, let's kick this one off. First game in the best of 3 series here in the final match in the lower bracket. On the left side, we got the boys of Washed Up, whereas on the right side in red, obviously, once again, the fan club themselves. And yeah, it's party time. We got a super strong front line to protect Cassia for the blue team, whereas on the right side, the red team again with that main tank Imperius plus a bit of assistance from Leoric. Let's not forget that we also have the Horrify for Gul'dan that could ruin a good coordinated setup from Washed Up here. Still, this is going to set the pace for the entire best-of-3 series, and both teams are, of course, incredibly eager to make it to the grand final to face off against Field.
Seeing the Sapphire on level 1 for Decade, even more setup for his front line. Wants to make sure no one is going to be able to escape. Classic level 1 for Gul'dan, Echoed Corruption, doesn't want extra burst, which we have seen sometimes, especially when you have someone like an Imperius. You want that little bit of instant damage to follow up on it, but in this case, they just go safety. They want to be able to control the point, and they want the maximum damage output.
Yeah, Gul'dan obviously has to now start to work on his stacks here, if he wants to get that mad value later on. Normally with the Echoed Corruption, you want to complete that at least, and when you pick up your Ruinous Affliction on level 16. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really help myself. I look at this lineup, I look at what Washed Up has, and I'm terrified for every single fight on the Shrine. You have not only the Johanna Blaze combo, which in and of itself is crazy. You got Nick on Carrigan. You have Deckard Cain, which is really, really good when it comes to that entrance control and additional CC for the team. And then behind it, as if that wasn't already tough enough to deal with, you have that Cassia, which has been such a staple in this tournament now. If Laubers Fanclub takes this, I mean, that would be very, very impressive to me. Because Washed Up has shown incredible coordination in the previous series. And yeah, they are just playing. They're bringing their A-game today for good reason. I mean, this is the monthly final.
But these monthly finals have been full of surprises. So if there was a time for Washed Up to be knocked out, it is now. As level 4, it's going to be hit for both teams. Going to see Potion of Shieldings, no buffed Ruby value here. Just want to make sure that Kerrigan can go in with as much of a shield as possible, so if she is locked down, they don't have to worry about trying to heal her up or have to worry about her being able to move. As First Blood is achieved, Kerrigan kills off the Imperius.
Yeah, you're talking about problems having moving and Imperius is sitting there. I feel you!
Dude, same. Help.
It's like, you come in, you get slowed down by Johanna, you try to get out, the jet propulsion hits you, the seal of Deckard Cain comes in, Carrying connects a combo, and you're just sitting there and it's like, guys, I think something's broken, I think my internet disconnected, my hero doesn't move anymore, it doesn't react.
My mouse disconnected. Oh wait, no, I'm just dead.
Men, pause the game!
Alright, Fallen Shaman Camp's picked up on both sides here. A little bit earlier for Washed Up, but it is still picked up by Laubers Fanclub as well for that counter push. Lauber playing very aggressively, lands Celestial Charge onto Masquerade, and well, he's found himself standing still again.
Time
goodbye.
To say goodbye. So another one down, second death on Lauber. That front line is gonna have a lot of fun, I can tell you that much. And Leo is already ghosting away. He's like, yeah, I'm having none of that. I've seen what happened to Imperius. I'm out, boys.
We're going to see the objective taken really easily by Washed Up. Kerrigan is just going to be able to bounce around this objective for fun. He's already up to 23 stacks, by the way. Really doing a good job there. And we're seeing Emerald coming in for Deckard Cain, making it even harder for anyone to live through this massive burst composition that we're seeing from Washed Up as they pick up their Mortar Punisher and begin to push in the bot lane.
Again, I'm terrified. The bait over the wall is fine. They're doing a good job with the defense here. This is the first one, so the wall will most likely fall and not much more than that. I mean, even that they can defend. Maybe a little bit of a chance to take Hauser down here, that would be great, but even that gets denied as we have Kerrigan out here. Nick is currently yelling at the team, how dare you fight without me? Like, stop trying to steal my kills away. Yeah, and there's another one.
There's one.
Down.
There's 5, in fact. He got a hero kill, so that's 5 stacks. He's up to 38 now, 37 now. Lauber, this time doesn't get locked down, and as such is able to live. He retreats out, and finally, Rhaegar has cleanse. He is dead, though, so no cleanse for now.
I mean, having the cleanse is, of course, a relief. That's one of those things where you're like, okay, everybody can bribe me now who gets the cleanse. I'm open for donations right here. But yeah, down at the bottom of the map with the big invade, it seems like the red team is finally able to steal something away. Nick, on the other hand, is having none of that. Comes in with a combo, ties there 2, 1 down, 2 down. Make it a triple, baby. Lauber is dead again. That's 6 kills to 0 after 5 minutes, 1 level lead, nearly level 10, and a camp that pushes with the rest of the team for fourth.
You ever been in that game where it seems like your strategy is to let's just ignore one guy and let's only fight when one guy isn't here? Because that's what this game is starting to look like for Laubers Fanclub. They're about to hit level 10 though, so Horrify might be their saving grace here because, yeah, they need something.
I think that somebody has misinformed the Washed Up and they think they are currently looking at a speedrun game. I mean,
maybe
it's a bit of a beatdown right now.
This is very one-sided, but Laubers Fanclub, like we say, level 10 is where games can change. Cassie, by the way, has waited on her level 1. I'm curious what for. We'll see in a moment as finally level 10 comes in for Laubers Fanclub, Entomb, Wailing, and it is Ancestral into Emerald. That's brave.
I mean, they're just figuring we need something to keep the boys alive, but Ancestral is in. Hazo gets attacked. Is that the first kill for them? Maybe not. Here comes the Valkyrie. The Ancestral saving Sylvanas for a bit. The Ultralist came out too. But this is the first fight, literally, where Washed Up did not walk away with at least 1 kill. So, yeah. Fan club
we
able to
count
survive.
as the victory. Didn't die. You achieved a lot.
Honestly, with those stats right now, I'll call that a win. Guys, we survived the fight, so we take it step by step. First we survive a fight, and then the next one we're trying to actually kill something.
All right, let's just practice not dying, then we can get to killing. It's like learning how to stop before you learn how to ski, as we do see it Washed Up. Cleaning out the minion wave and getting ready to defend the objective.
Yeah, they are currently locked down in the middle a little bit. Banana H moving in. Already a slight advantage. A tiny advantage. I mean, it's 3 minions. They get a 4th one, but that's it. So let's see what they can do up at that top. Nick is already looking for targets again. His Carrigan is just so terrifying. It's ridiculous.
They begin clearing. Right now, Copen is trying to keep him up and actually does hold the lead for Laubers Fanclub as Lauber himself. Looks for his opportunity. He's stunned. Where's the cleanse? There it is. Lauber. He gets out. He's stunned again. He's stunned again. He will get out this time, but Rutzau finds himself on the wrong side of the tracks. He's taken out here. And with that kill advantage over to Washed Up, they retake position and are going to control this objective.
Yeah. Honestly, if I was on the red team, I would start praying to a god that I don't believe in, that I'm the one that gets locked down by the CC train, because it's pretty much a question of who gets hit first. So now we have a 2-level, not a 2-level lead, but we are 7 kills to 0. We have a 1-level lead with a talent advantage. The second objective has easily been taken. The only thing that I really need to see from Washed Up is that they don't slack off, that they don't fall into this trap that we've seen in the previous series, where multiple times a team that has taken a significant lead gets a bit overconfident and then gets wiped, loses the entire advantage and loses the game in the end. So you have to really show that discipline. But then again, there's a lot of Germans on that team.
For Frozen Punisher.
Then again, there's also a couple of French people on there, so there's that.
I'm not going to dignify that because there are no British players left for me to meme about. Actually, no, we have a couple. We have a couple.
You got Ty.
We do. All right, we're fine. Ty in this game, keeping British pride alive. As we see the clear onto the Punisher. They're able to hold for now. Keep survives. And like you said, Washed Up, they don't overextend. They're playing safe. They're playing patient. They're not falling into the same trap yet.
Yeah, well, again, the Fountain gets attacked here. Could take that one down too. Over 13 talents now any second. They want to steal the camp away, of course, as well. But their Chrysalis, of course, is another great tool for these fights. We haven't really seen it in big action yet, but that's another one that can help Carrigan to survive here. It's kind of funny again because we have now that Ancestral has been picked. This is the perfect example of how the level 13 choice is determined by your level 10 talent. Because now you have to pick Earth Shield again. You can't go into oh, well, there comes the fight. You can't go into your heal talent anymore because you need that delay to get the Ancestral through. So that's a perfect example of how those talents are really connected to each other.
It really is. They are completely linked, and that's why you do see the variation sometimes. But the fact is, so far, Ancestral has got value, and might continue to get value throughout this game. And we'll see if that is the case, because right now, Burst is the target, and Bloodlust, well, it's like, if you run into a stun faster, does that make the stun any less brutal? The answer is no. If you have Ancestral, you might keep the target alive at least, and so far, it has worked out.
Yeah, there's the 16 talents now. Let's be honest, Washed Up, look how aggressive they are, and for good reason. They are playing to their advantages. Here comes the kill, 1 down, 2 down, and Orega is just running. The dog is finally able to self-ancestral, and that's the only thing that keeps him alive here. But that fort is obviously down. It's a 2-level advantage. You have so many kills here, and they know it too. They're flanking in from the side, behind the fort, push in with the rest of it. 2 are down, and they're just crushing. At this point, Lauber is completely getting murdered. The wall is broken. They have a talent advantage. This is the 3-level lead right now. It's getting to a ridiculous point where Lauber just dies again. And Washed Up is... They make this look like a quick match.
I mean, I'm struggling to find a position where Laubers Fanclub, especially if that happens, can turn this game in their favor. Rhaegar lives again, so they have a healer for Copenhagen, but right now, that's an 11-minute core, because Washed Up, they don't really have to worry. They're just going to rush it in.
They're not even defending, they know it's over. Again, if you want to know what a draft win looks like, this is it. No, you don't have to look further. This is game. 12 minutes in, game's over, and they are done with it as well. They're not even defending anymore. They're saying like, yeah, just end it, end the misery. Towers of Doom is the map, and, well, obviously, when it comes to drafts, the fan club has to get themselves a combo that is a bit more competitive compared to what we saw on the last map, because Washed Up just walked away with a dream composition after the draft on Infernal Shrines, and it was a massive, massive beatdown, where even at the end, we had multiple heroes, multiple players of the fan club just stand around the core, watching it fall, and just saying, like, yeah, we're not even going to try and defend, just please end it, like, we're suffering already here. This is no fun. So this is going to be very likely a bit of a different ball game, since we can obviously expect a very, very different draft out of the red team.
Yep, you're almost certainly correct. They're going to try and play around this, and they're going to want to avoid that Kerrigan pain once again. But they can play around that by maybe banning out different tanks, because the Blaze Johanna was a big part of what kept them standing still for Kerrigan to just kill them off one at a time. And while Rhaegar wasn't able to cleanse them out of that last game, maybe the cleanse could help out this time, and they'd actually be able to maybe get a Bloodlust composition in, as now it is time for their first pick, and yay! He makes it in for the first time in a really long time. ETC's in the game.
Yeah, well, Burger Flipper gets the beef. So now we have the first pick in. Has been banned tons and tons of times now. But finally, we have the pick. What are we going to see for Washed Up then again? So they start, of course, into the second map with a fantastic and extremely dominant victory on the first map. And if that momentum in any way carries over into Towers of Doom, then the fan club is in for a rough time here, as Johanna and Deckard Cain are both being picked again, as we've seen them on the first map. Strong setup, good start. But what's going to happen on the damage side now? Malfurion, first of all, as a support here, so has the root as a follow-up to ETC's Power Slide. And Tyon Vala, we're going back to the roots, back to the basics.
That's a very high damage composition. With Cassia banned, they don't really have to worry about that anymore, so they go for the hyper carry. ETC Vala is a composition that we know works, and we know is solid. They don't need the Bloodlust, because Deckard's already been picked and is a solid counter to that. So instead, they have a hero that allows them to just do massive damage over time and kite out that Johanna.
It's like, after the last game, they question everything. Who am I and how many? And therefore they revert back to the 2017 meta. We're going to see Tazada coming in and they're like, wait a second, he doesn't shield anymore? What's going on here? No, they're going to be fine. But Zeratul gets banned, as they just want to make sure that that doesn't ruin their day too. I mean, if you are Washed Up, what you're trying to get rid of is, of course, any kind of hero that could be a bit of a curveball. So the Zeratul ban, after that was previously played by the fan club already, is a good ban here too. Kira gets banned out against Nick.
Respect.
Let's not forget, Nick also played Carrigan on this map, and it was terrifying. He walked away with 17 kills, I think. That was in one of the qualifiers, I want to say. Or
Yeah.
was that actually Meta Madness? I don't know, but it was insane. So
I think saying Nick plays Kerrigan on this map is almost like saying Nick wore pants today.
yeah.
Leoric Chromie coming in here. They have a solid front line now and great interrupt potential. Valor has a very low health pool, so Chromie interrupts are going to be an absolute pain to deal with. EDC can help a little bit with that, but with Johanna stopping him, they need someone else who can pressure that backline, and there it is! They pick up two! Malthael and Tracer to finish out the draft, and Tracer Valor as a damage-dealing duo is just rude.
Aggressive and squishy is what comes to mind here. So, yeah, that can work, but there's not a lot of support. Again, Malfurion is going to have a lot to do here. So, what is Nick going to play? What's going to be the last pick for them now that they have this setup locked in? And we get Jimmy, auto attacks, trying to push Tracer down a bit. So, stage is set for game number 1, Towers of Doom. The lead goes to Washed Up thus far. They want to have the 2-0 victory. The fan club, of course, want to force the third map. Let's jump into Towers of Doom and find out which team is going to take the victory on our second map in the best of 3 series. And talking about the series, we have the second map now live, Towers of Doom. The gates are down, so time to start the party. And obviously for Washed Up, if they win this, they move on to the grand final, whereas the fan club would end 3rd place in this first monthly final of Method Mayhem. Fan club then again. Other plans, of course. They got a couple of comfort picks for themselves now. Lauber on ETC, to name one example. Tai also here on Vala. So there's a couple of heroes that they're super familiar with, that they love to play, where they can definitely coordinate quick attacks and get quick kills in. If they can do that, might have a chance to force that third map and get the revenge in the grand final against Feel the Heat. Time will tell.
Good out, cleaning it. Just assisting Malthael. I was looking for the kill into Leoric. Not going to happen, but they force Leoric back, which is exactly what they want. By the way, we do see that Leoric went for the Ossian renewal here. He went for a little bit more sustained globe-wise and a little less spectral swing value that you could see if they were going for a multiple frontline team. In this case, though, just going for the lane sustain as Lauber is forced back. Cam Steal is still a possibility, though. Blind comes out from Masquerade. They're slowly killing this, but the push is still coming in. Number advantage about to come in as Dayquaza will rotate. Copenhagen a little bit slower. Power Slide comes out onto Leoric, but Leoric, he's gone.
He's getting out there, but I like that we have a bit more aggression from the fan club, so that's kind of nice. They definitely want to try in the early game to already just like at least get some respect out of the opponent and keep them on their toes. Just to point it out too, we have, I mean, the map obviously kind of caters to it a little bit more, but I still want to highlight it here. We have on level 1 after the rework, or not the rework, but the changes in the patch, Ace in the Hole now taken. It's not really an insta-pick anymore for Exterminator. It's obviously still a pick that we see a lot, but here with the lineup that they're playing and the map, they are going into that extra damage based on the slows, and they have plenty of those to go around. It's Johanna, Leoric, and even Deckard Kane, so there's a lot that can help Jimmy to get even more damage onto the board now.
We've already talked about the Hungering Arrow build coming in from Valor, already up to 1 stack on Puncturing Arrow, which was picked up here. And boss on this map is a boss that you rarely see actually get taken. Sometimes it will go full games without it being taken at all. Recall has to be used by Kurzau, who is in a little bit of trouble, but Henning keeps him topped up. But with this Valor build, if they get fully stacked, then that suddenly puts them in a position to rush the boss, and that might just give them a cheeky little 4 shots every now and again throughout the match, as Johanna overextends, and that's first blood coming over to Laubers Fanclub.
Yeah, well done. Good body blocks too, and he was initially trying to go for Malfurion, but that didn't quite work out, and all of a sudden he found himself surrounded by 4 heroes. So that's a very, very different opening now, and a completely different start into the game compared to what happened on the last one. So the early kill, still the exchange of the altars, top left, top right, and now the fight over the third. Now Jojo is back, but can they interrupt Henning again? And the answer is no. He's going to get that channel completed, which gives the lead to the fan club in game number 2.
Lauber is real far forward right now as Masquerade moves in. Dragon Breath comes out. No root. Good face melt. Otherwise, Decisive might have got that slow, and we might have seen the death of Lauber. Still only 1 kill to 0 right now, and a slight core advantage for Laubers Fanclub, who went a little bit more out there, a little bit more experimental with their draft. Whereas Washed Up, they've gone standard. Now they have to execute it. And so far, they're falling a little bit behind, but not too much. They're just about half a level behind.
7 talents, of course, make the difference now. But you play safe, you play at the wall, you just wait it out, you get the talent quickly. So that's not really a big deal yet. 10 stacks for Chromie. Camp, of course, that's a bit of a different story. They're trying for the invade, but this is something that Washed Up has already sniffed out, and they're immediately trying to take it. The problem is they're heavily outnumbered here. Nick is already moving back as Rutsu is attempting to put more damage onto him with his bomb. Didn't quite work out, but that's a good steal. So I like it. Much better opening now for the fan club here. Definitely much more what we initially expected when these two teams faced off against each other. The first map, it's really something that you just have to write off as like, okay, draft loss kind of screwed up a little bit here. Let's go for this next one and just try and force map 3, and that's what they're doing now.
That's great. Drops the Laws of Hope as he was actually pressured quite a bit to top himself back off again healing-wise. Will hold the line. He's not invading yet, but he's threatening it and buying more time for the rest of his team. Laubers Fanclub, that does force everyone to come up here to finish off that mercenary camp as a single altar phase spawns in 3 seconds. Nick gonna be forced to Fountain before he comes to this because he is dropped by Rutzau.
Yeah, so we have half a level until 10. We could play a role here already if they can interrupt it a little bit more. Well, but blue team is trying to take it. Okay, damage against Lauber. They're trying to follow up on the Chromie ult, trying to suck him back in here. But it's not quite enough to get the lockdown confirmed with Deckard Kane here. Was close though, but level 10, again, it will be there soon. So if the blue team wants to win this one, they have to force the fight a little bit more aggressively or zone them out. Banana H with the channel attempt. But they're going to be interrupted, and I think they have to fall back here. It will be a level 10 advantage in just a few seconds. Unless they get the kill now, of course.
Lauber goes very far forward, dodges the scroller ceiling though, and will get out of here. He has got Block Party, which is keeping not only him alive, but is giving Rutzau some very serious value as he was able to push in earlier and drop Reyna very low. Pulse Bomb is used, and that forces Masquerade to burn the Iron Skin, take the tower, and finally Henning will channel this in, and Laubers Fanclub extend their lead 28-36 in Laubers Fanclub's favor.
28 to 36, so 8 points ahead. And nearly a level now. Nicely done. So we got Strafe in. We have also Mosh Pit, Last Rites. And the Heroics will soon drop also for the blue team. And that's of course when we can still expect that Blessed Shield, that Entomb to be used. Both of them are ready now. I'm talking about Entomb up at the top side. Leo's fighting it out with Malthael. And Leo goes down. The first stack for the Last Rites. Well done. On the bottom of the map, on the other hand, the cow is down. ETC is dead. Tai is also taking a lot of damage, but it's not enough to kill him too.
That's Laubers. That's going to be the first kill Washed Up been able to achieve there, picking off that ETC. But that still means the kills aren't too far apart. Only 1 kill to 2. Very low kill games so far. But no longer having that mosh pit on the board means we see a little bit of aggression coming out of Washed Up. They're going to look to try and get Tai in this bottom lane, try to trap him in here. And with the penetrating round, the Banshee. Oh, it doesn't go deep. The Banshee gives up.
Yeah, that was a bit too close for comfort, though. If not for the heals of Malfurion, that would have been a kill right there. It got really close. But still, fairly even experience. Leo's moving out again. In comes Copenhagen. In an ideal world, he would, of course, attempt to get a few more stacks in for his Last Rites. Not happening yet. We got 14 stacks. Talking about stacks. On Vala. Another slide against Chromie for just a moment, but there it is, the setup against Lauber, and that's his demise. He's dead. Ult used also by Malfurion, and immediately the attempt to take him down too, and well, that's going to be successful. Penetrating round comes in as Nick secures the final hit.
Tai thinking he could maybe get the quick turnaround kill into Hasselhoffs there, but Hasselhoffs had the timeout. He's hit level 12, and they were able actually hit level 11 as Chromie, as he is able to survive through that, forcing the strafe out of Vala. It's a minute cooldown, meaning he is forced to back up without that available. And double channel coming in for Washed Up, who are bringing themselves back in and will even out the core health.
Yep, they are building up way momentum now, and that works in their favor at the bottom of the map, where they not only destroy the entire wall, but they also get damage onto the bell tower to prep for a conversion that would help them with upcoming altars. Still a little behind in experience, not by much, but the level 13 talent is quicker for the red team. Not that it doesn't do anything for them in this particular situation, but still. Inevitable end is in, the jumper. And talking about jumping, seems like they're jumping on Johanna here, and Masquerade is low, but he gets out, and now the turn attempt against Lauber again. It's not the only one. Tracer's going in deep end. Oh, Copenhagen! Masquerade goes down, but no stack for Malfael.
Malfael doesn't land it. Hasu's so low, but they can't get in position to finish him off. But this time, ETC survives the engage. They turn it, they pick up a kill, and that evens up the kill count. Laubers Fanclub. This time, they are not going down without a fight. They have already had an infinite kill increase to last game as they make their way in to steal the mercenary.
Yeah, Hasu, hit point efficient as usual. As he moves away with 30 or 40. One stack is missing for Vala, and then she's gonna have her quest completed. Chromie is lacking another 7 to do the same thing. 3 kills against 3. Much closer game now. Much more what we expected here. Again, this is of course the top 3 playing against each other now. We have one team waiting in the grand final, which will be best of 5 series. And this match is to determine their opponent. Feel the heat against either Washed Up or Laubers Fanclub is going to be our grand final, and the loser of the series that we're watching here now will take 3rd place in the tournament. We have one altar at the bottom of the map, and both are going to fight for it. It's dead even. Same amount of kills, same amount of experience, same amount of points on the core, as both are fighting for the next altar.
Johanna double stun, Dayquaza, he has Entomb. He drops it, finds ETC, who's trying to take through. Root of Malfurion is able to keep him alive. Temporal Loop pulls Lauber back, but Strafe from the side. Vala able to do huge damage, tie dives deep, but not a range. He's tanking it though. Finally, we see a mosh pit this game as we see Leoric taken out. And look at Laubers Fanclub powering their way through. And with Tracer on that back line and Ty with a nice little wraparound Strafe, they pick up the kills, and they're looking for the bell tower.
Yeah, they are. 4 kills taken. 7 against 4. Hazu is dead as well. Their 5-man team wipe as they are pushing them off the map. 2-level lead nearly. Ooh, and the bell tower conversion. Yeah, this game got spicy all of a sudden. Oh boy. We're looking at a massive advantage now for the fan club in the second game.
Yes, we do. As the fan club move on, they were able to take a bell tower. They get the altar, 5 shots onto the core, bring it down to 23. In the meantime, Copen's grabbing mercenaries in top lane. Mercenaries have been grabbed in bottom lane, and Laubers Fanclub, they are looking to start to snowball their advantage here. As Ty, Lauber, and Henning move into this defensive position in bot lane, they want to hold this bell tower for a long time.
Yeah. Where's this team been the entire time? Well, the game isn't over yet. I shouldn't jump to conclusions here. I still remember the previous series, but just look at that pressure topside now. Getting another bell tower would just be such a massive lead. You already have lost control at the bottom of the map. If you now lose topside too, that's closing in on a full barrage even. Good dodge on the pulse bomb damage with the timeout. But yeah, Leo is defending top against Malthael, but as I said, that bell tower is incredibly low already.
He's just saving it for later. Corbin just going to rotate up there and maybe pick this off later as the Oryx forced to move up again. Rutzau moves in. Good Iron Skin. Condemn. Temporal Loop. They're trying to replicate the success earlier. Unable to do so. Lauber tanks through. T just gets eaten by Nick, though. That's a lot of damage. Condemn picking up the kill on Vala. And Lauber, he's in trouble. Focus down, taking all the damage. Rutzau is unable to do enough to weaken anyone to the point of turnaround. And Washed Up move themselves back in and are going to reclaim what's theirs. Bottom bell tower going back over to Washed Up.
Yeah, and good timing. Triple altar phase is coming up in 10 seconds. We're going to have 2 heroes down for the red team. So if they can take the top bell tower, that would be nice. That's why Rutsu is going topside. They want to take that bell tower. They want to make sure that they get this so that they don't suffer as much damage. But with the minion wave pushing through, that didn't happen. So now we have 5 kills against 8. And there it is. Double shots fired already. The interrupt on the top right side. And the opportunity to maybe even get the triple here.
This is greedy, and I love it as they look in for Copa, who jukes him. Not with the bless shield, he's out. Nicely done with the Fear the Reaper. Rutzau not as lucky though, caught with the temporal loop, had already used Recall, and that is going to be washed up, getting the triple cap, and they're going for boss.
Momentum swing, baby! Triple altar, that's 12 shots plus the boss. We're looking at 16, which means that it's 23 to 12 on the board. Wow, that turned quickly. I mean, initially we looked at a massive momentum for the team in red as they were locking in kill after kill and nearly had control of 6 bell towers. And then just through those 2 kills before the triple altar phase, the reconversion of the bell tower at the bottom, the entire game changed. That's 16 points off the core, which is absolutely incredible. Fantastic play here by Washed Up. Still slightly behind experience, but not by much. But they ain't even done yet. Trace isn't back on the map, so they just go to the bottom of the map and take another bell tower. This is getting absolutely bananas here. Blessed Shield misses again. Masquerade. He needs a couple of glasses.
Sappers making their way in. Nice job by Copen. He's bringing his team back into this. One of the Sappers is burned.
It's always a question like which laugh is the best from the Pumpkins or from Junkrat, and I think the Pumpkins have it, to be honest.
What about Lunara?
No, I go for the Pumpkins. That was just too good.
Alrighty, we see a double ulta phase in top lane, which is bad for Washed Up because they don't have as many places to retreat to. It already takes a lot of damage, and Laubers Fanclub, they hit level 20 first. They've played aggressively on the map to gain control, not defending bot lane, with instead the priority to try and pick up kills before the next objective to allow them to get a quick lead and snowball that way. But the talents are evil, and they are now going to have to trade a 4-for-4 because they have top. They don't need to worry about bot. This would be an even trade, but they are playing aggressive to brawl loop. Uh-oh.
Ult. Oh, into the ult of Leo. Buried Alive is in, and that's the kill. Rotzer tries to get the kill against Banana H. Good luck with that, buddy. He's down 2. That's a double kill. 2 down, and all of a sudden, what looked like a massive invade from Laubers Fanclub turns quickly against them. That's another 2 channeled by the blue team. They're going to push them down to 4 if they connect both, and it seems like they're going to be able to do exactly that. 8 points on the board now for the fan club. They are down to the single digits, and Quasar comes in, channels it through. They are on 4 points, 1 altar, 1 boss, and this match is over.
This is not good for Laubers Fanclub. They are on the defensive boss. They have plenty of time, though. 2 minutes and 20 seconds until that is back up again, so they don't have to worry about that immediately. They do have to worry, though, about mid dying, because here comes Washed Up, and with 2 heroes still dead, it's going down. There's nothing they can do about that.
It doesn't matter really towards the points, but it's obviously map control that you're really after. I don't think that it comes to a full bell tower control setup, but the control on the map is really, really important. And depending on where the next altar spawns, and it's actually happening to be in the middle, it can really make it tricky for the red team to move in and attempt to defend. So this is a bit of a worst case scenario, honestly, if we're looking at it. Here comes the attempt to push the pumpkins in.
1, 2.
1 in, 2 in, and wow, they are down to 2 points on the core. This is a nightmare for the fan club.
Yeah, a triple. If they get a full 6 cap now, Washed Up win, because there's almost no way that Laubers Fanclub could reclaim anything in time to stop it. But Here comes the ulti phase, and it really doesn't matter if they get mid or not, but they probably should try and finish off mid. Instead, they go for the wraparound, stay a while and listen from behind, getting Valor there, and Valor gets eaten alive. Caught by the root, temporal loop, strafe though, stays alive. Heading, keeping this going, but Valor is already taken out. There's the mosh pit, only grabbing one member as Hasu sieges in the damage, holding them together, and with Tracer zoned out so far, they're not going to be able to defend this. They're not even looking for the channel. They're just looking to win the team fight.
2 down, 3 down, another one eliminated. Lauber gets taken down too. That's another 5-man wipe. Malthael bought back, but this is game. The 2-0 victory for Washed Up against the Fan Club in the lower bracket as they move to the grand final.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.